Welcome back to another episode of the Good Morning Minute podcast. I'm your host, Angelina Mojica, certified family life educator, life coach, and founder of Empower Her Steps. This season, we're stepping into a new series called Rooted, Restoring the Fruit of the Spirit, a conversation about identity, healing, and inner growth. While the fruit of the Spirit comes from a faith-based framework, the heart of this season is something we all can relate to, the qualities that shaped who we are. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, gentleness, and self-control, and how life experiences either grow or challenge those qualities. Look, I'm not here to label people good or bad, right or wrong. We're just here to explore what's beneath the surface, what shaped us, what stretched us, and what helped us grow. So today I'm honored to welcome Shavonne to the show. Shavonne, welcome to the Good Morning Minute.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Angela.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm excited to get to know you even further through our conversation. But before I do so, tell our listeners a little bit about who you are and what this current season of life looks for you.
So, yes, my name is Shavonne. I'm initially from Detroit, Michigan. I currently reside in Atlanta, Georgia. I am an event manager, brand ambassador, and owner of a business called Savvy Global Brands. I've been in experiential marketing for over 20 years, and I also do a lot in media as well. And so I've really, at this point in my life, is trying to pivot, transition full time in my career, and just grow spiritually. I'm really very that's very important to me, as well as I've really been trying to get into doing some retreats. So that's really something I'm really interested into doing.
Wow, you're a woman of many talents, is what I can tell, and I appreciate that. I do a lot of things. I don't know if it's because I'm a Gen Xer or it's just what I'm called to do here on the earth while I'm here. Anyways,
Yes,
I
we have more
really,
than one talent.
that's right, that's right. You
We
can.
have more than one gift. Absolutely.
Absolutely. So yeah, I want to jump into, what really shaped who you are today. When you look at your life right now, which inner quality was it from the list of the fruit of the spirit was something or is something that connected to your journey?
Finding it's a saying that my mother always has told me,
Mm,
never let anyone snatch your joy.
mm, mhm,
That's something that really resonates with me. And having love and family around me is really important. And being able to grow in every aspect of life is very important. When it comes to personal or even when it comes to business, being able to grow. And it's just funny because now I'm over the threshold of the 30s. I really realized, I'm like, wow, not being in my 20s, or even in my early 30s, I'm really realizing that me being in this point in my life, I really have grown, and I'm really ready to take that leap, and ready for my career and ready for the next step. Opposed to in the past, I'm like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that. But I feel like my mind is more developed now
mm, mhm.
compared to then. And it's hard to say, because when you in your 20s, it's like, hey, I want to pursue this field, or I want to do this hobby. But now that you have all the experience, you have encountered challenges, or you've gone through things, it strengthens you and allows you to move forward in life. And so going through certain things and learning certain things, I'm really like, I'm more equipped now. I know how to communicate with people or know how to handle situations compared to then.
I love that. I know it was a big aha moment when I turned 30. I'll be 50 in a couple of weeks. Yeah, but even then, like I still have this youthful spirit within my heart
So
because I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be 50, but I feel like I'm just now like truly stepping into all that is Angelina, like all that is me. And so I
ain't
still
that
feel very
crazy?
youthful.
crazy because when we are more in our 20s and our 30s, it is like, oh, I want. It's like in our 20s, we're trying to map out who and what we are, and what we want to do. In our 30s, we think we ready, but it's like we still learning things and we still have to equip ourselves with stuff. But by the time we get in our 40s and our 50s, it was like, I'm here now, baby.
Uh-huh. It really is. I mean, I think that's been at least my experience for sure. Because I know at 30, I was in this place of, man, what am I going to do with myself? Because this is not the vision I had when I was younger. Because, like you
Right.
said, when you're 20, you've got all of the things going on, and you're like, oh, I can do this and I can do that. But it really hit me when I was 30, and I started to pivot and started to do more for myself and for my children. Uh, so what
Hmm.
you talk about joy and you talk about nobody stealing your joy and just the love and the peace that comes from that. Was there ever
Hmm.
a season in your life where you realized like this struggle that you were going through or whatever challenge that you were going through wasn't just about behavior, but maybe something deeper?
Yes, I've gone through some challenges, with family or
Yeah.
our parents, and I'm like, am I going to get through this hurdle, or am I going to get through having challenges with my peers? Like I've had those times, and I think we all go through those moments, and I I prayed through it. I made sure to stay strong and keep the ball rolling is my motto.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized just with myself in particular, and I think I've conditioned myself this way over time. I just don't allow things to get to me. Now things do normally, you gonna go through something like something ticked me off today, but that's here nor there. Like I'm trying to get in a new apartment, and I'm like, why your office not open? Like what's going on?
Uh-huh.
But
Mm-hmm.
little things, I'm learning like, okay, breathe, calm down, figure it out later. If you can't figure it out right now, you gonna eventually it's gonna unravel itself, and it's gonna dissolve, and you're gonna be able to get to the next step with whatever that is. And so being able to not allow things to get the best of me. And I think there are some people that allow things to get the best of them, or to allow life challenges to make take things over with them, with their finances, or with their livelihood or their relationships. And I just I keep a strong will about myself and not allow things to affect me much.
Mm. So Siobhan, I'm wondering like when we talk about our career and how we feel more attuned, more aligned, and just better equipped in stepping into our ideas and visions for ourselves as we grow in age, was there ever a time that brought you to this realization when it came to your joy and peace? Like, okay, when we're young, we tend to be more
Hmm.
and reactional in our behaviors and our thinking. But was there ever a moment in your life where you went through something that really tested that joy, tested your peace and love, but coming out of it, you're like, oh, never again. I've learned to be who you are today. Because when I hear it, you're like, I'm not going to go there. But was there ever a moment where you did go there and you were there, but then you stepped out and realized, oh, you know what? That's not the best representation of me. I need to be more responsive than reaction focused. Was there ever a situation that really brought that to light for you?
Nothing necessarily I can think of, but it was funny because not too long ago, just recently, I started journaling some things. I can't think of them
Okay.
right now, but there were some things I was journaling. I was like, wow, I really didn't realize that
Mhm.
these things were affecting me. I really didn't realize that. And I will
Mhm.
share that with you at another time, but I believe so. I can say this personally, two things that did just come to my mind. My parents did get divorced
Oh, wow.
my junior year of high school,
Wow.
and my father is incarcerated. At that time, I'm still in high school. I'm still in that teenage mind. And
Mm.
at that time in my life, I was like, that's my parents' problems. Y'all got nothing to do with me.
Mm-hmm.
And over time, like I said, I didn't allow it to bother me. But within recent years, I'm like, y'all did what? This is what happened. Like I had to kind of like reel it back in, reel it back in and tell myself, hey, you can allow what went on with my parents to affect me. And like I was just explaining, a lot of times we would go through things, as children or as individuals with our parents or even just with family or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and allow things to really hinder us. And I was like, that's not about to hinder me. I'm trying to go to college. At that time I was like, I'm trying to go to college. I'm trying to graduate high school. I got
Mm-hmm.
things that I want to do. I was like, this is not about to hinder me. And so, and I'm glad that I did that because I don't know where my mind would have been.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would have not had that talk with myself. I don't know where my state of mind would have been.
Mm.
And a lot of times people, uh, especially having a parent that's confined, I had to learn, over time, like, hey, have those talks with my father, and being able to speak with him regularly. Like, I don't allow, that to affect me. So, it's interesting, having to go through life and finding that joy, finding that peace. And I'm glad that with my father, he has his relationship with God. So that's a good thing. So,
Yeah.
you know, I'm glad that I'm a strong-willed person because I, I I really be like, wow, some of the things that life throws at us can be difficult. And I'm not saying like, hey, nothing gonna push me down, but I'm a very strong-willed person, and I'm like, I'm the type of person, if something is presented to me, I'm gonna go around it. Oh, this it can't happen this way. Okay, well, I'm gonna do it this way. Oh, I can't do this today. I'm gonna do it tomorrow. Like that's how I've always been. So,
No, I appreciate you being vulnerable because I think this is an important thing because you're talking about being strong-willed and sometimes that comes across as being stubborn,
mm,
especially when we're youthful. But I want to point this out to those that are listening because you needed to do something to help yourself continue to stay focused on your goals and your dreams. So you didn't allow what was happening in your home to really deter you from that because you're right. Had you been engulfed in some of their situations, it may have
come
knocked you
on.
off your path. So I love
Yeah.
that you highlight your strength of being strong-willed in this moment because it was definitely something you needed to keep you going because you probably
Mhm.
wouldn't be where you are today had you let that take an effect. But the interesting part of it is that you're journaling and now you're like writing some stuff down and then you're coming to this moment of wow, I didn't know that that was still there. And
Mm.
what did that journaling, what did it reveal about like how you saw yourself in that moment?
It made me realize certain things, and I had this conversation either with a mentor or with someone, and just being able to journal made me realize certain things that they say don't hide from yourself, or
Mm,
don't hide yourself. And I think in certain instances in my life, I was hiding certain parts of myself,
mm,
or I was scared to speak up. Just with me even speaking that and revealing that, being vulnerable with you about that, for a very long time, I did not tell nobody about that.
mm,
What was
mm,
going on with my parents, my parents divorced and my father being incarcerated. That's personal between my family and I.
mm,
Some of my friends would know, but I really wouldn't personally tell people. And me being able to open up about that now, I'm like, I'm more in a comfortable space. You would have asked me to tell you that 5, 10 years ago, I'd be like, my daddy, well, yeah, my daddy, he's around. I would not
mm,
like would tell you what's going on with my parents, and so
mm,
also to mention, as we still speaking about, finding the joy and finding the peace and the love. I also did recently have been going through a challenging moment with my mother. She has dementia,
mm.
and
Wow.
that was a struggle because about 2 or 3 years ago, she was going through some episodes, and I'm like, what's going on with my mom? Like, she's not really like this. Like, she was we weren't on the same page, and
Mhm.
we will be cool for a couple of months, and then she would just flip out on me, and I have to distance myself from her. And but as it progressively has gotten not really good, and so now my brother is taking care of my mother, and I'm going to go see her in a week or so. And
Mhm.
girl, when I tell you that's been a challenge.
Mhm.
Now, yes, that has rocked me to my core. That has rocked me to my core because at some point I'd be like, okay, I got it. Okay, I figured it out. I think I can deal with it. Let's get her a caregiver. Okay. And at this time, my brother
Mhm.
wasn't around, or we was trying to, get in the process of making sure that she was okay. And so now we're at that place where he's able to care for her. It's been challenging for him and
Mhm.
myself. So I'm dealing with it right now. I'm
Mhm.
before within like I would say last year. Whew, I was like, I don't know how to deal with this. Like I said, me being the strong-willed person I am, I'm like, okay, I can do this, da da da, and I'm like, this is another ball game. This is different
Mhm.
because, and I can't speak for all individuals with dementia, but she has her episodes at night. She don't want to. She's antsy. She's up. She don't want to, be still. Like, you got to go sleep. Go to sleep.
Mhm.
Or during the day, like, she doesn't want to listen to what we have to tell her. She's our parent, so it's like it's challenging. So yeah,
Mhm.
that's
Wow.
an interesting, thing to go through.
Yeah. No, thank you for sharing. I mean, I think that's important because there may be somebody out there listening going, "Oh my gosh, I'm going through that same thing and I don't know how to deal with it." So I think that's important for people to know, like sharing your story can help someone else
Yeah.
understand theirs and
Mhm.
and be accepted and realize too, like we're not alone in some of these things that we're going through. There are people that are either in it with you or that have gone through it and have a better understanding and empathy for someone else who is going through that. I can't imagine um, having a relationship with a parent and start losing them. Like it's almost like you're grieving them when they're still alive because their personality
Mhm.
starts to slip and you start seeing a whole other side of them that
Right.
wasn't even existing when you were a child. And so I mean my heart breaks for you, but because I couldn't imagine what that would even look like for myself. So, what are some things that you are doing to help you as you're walking through this situation with your mother? Like, what are some of the things that you help yourself like ground? Because I know it's gotta test your patience because you're
Mhm.
like you said, she is trying to stay up at night, and you're like, no, you have to go to bed. Like, come on, mom. Like, I definitely see where you get your strong willness from for sure, but
Mhm.
what are some things that you do to put your peace back in check and to fill yourself up with patience so that you can deliver quality care and time with your mom when you are with her?
Well, it has been different because when I was home, I was able to. It varies. It varies.
Yeah.
So I can say this: when when I was home, I dealt with it.
Mm,
It was stressful. It was
mhm,
stressful. When I came back, when I came, meaning home, when I went to Detroit, when I came back home to Atlanta, I was like, what did I just deal with? I have to, strap
mm,
up my boots for this. So I commend my brother. I commend my brother, having to care for my mother. And so when I go home within the next week, I'm gonna have a lot to deal with and a lot to handle. And I am, like I said, you really don't know what you're in for, because dealing
mhm,
with a dementia individual, it's a slippery slope, and their personalities can go back and forth.
mhm.
And I remember when my brother and I was initially trying to deal with my mother. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
you can't be fussing and hollering at her. You got to talk to her calmly. And I speak to her calmly. But my brother, he has to be stern and forceful with her in
Mm-hmm.
order for her to do certain things, for her to take her medicine, for her to bathe, for her to eat. And I'm like, yeah. So you see the difference in the dynamic there. So for
Mm-hmm.
me to go home, it's gonna be an interesting go around for me because, like I said, every time I go home, it's different. Because even when I got off the phone with my brother recently, he was like, "Oh yeah, mom was doing X, Y, and Z, but now she's leaving the house." I said, "Excuse me, she wasn't leaving the house before.
Mm-hmm.
She went across the street to the dealership, excuse me, to the auto repair place, talking about she want a car." Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting to see how
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be able to help her and care for her while I'm there, while I give my brother a vacation.
Mm-hmm. I think that's beautiful that the two of you are working things out as far as siblings and taking shifts and, stepping in when you can and those things. Definitely have to prepare yourself mentally. It sounds like because it's going to take a toll. I know. What are some of the strategies that you could recommend just preparing like mentally for such a situation?
I'm so like at a pause because
Yeah.
I don't necessarily I can't necessarily say it's a strategy for it because for me, I can say I'm trying to be patient with it,
Mm-hmm.
dealing with her. I'm also trying to be nurturing,
Nurturing. Uh-huh.
nurturing to her. And although that is being done, I feel as if me being there, I'm gonna have to be stern with her too.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not used to being stern with her.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I have my ways, and that's just how I am. I have my ways to maneuver things. Like, yeah. So, for example, say like if I have to have her eat some food, because she's like, oh, my brother has cooked several times, and be like, oh, we cooked dinner. She's like, oh, I don't eat that. I don't want that when it's normal food that we may eaten before, like
Uh-huh.
if it's chicken or spaghetti or sandwiches or anything.
Mm-hmm.
She'd be like, "Oh, I don't eat that," knowing that she does. So I have told my brother, "Hey, when you cook, just go ahead and put that food in the refrigerator and let her go eat it later." And he was like, "Yeah, that's what his wife, which my sister-in-law, does." I said,
Mm-hmm.
"Good, that's good." So now it's several things. So he's at the point where he can't keep much in the refrigerator. He can't keep stuff sitting around. She'll have cups and cups sitting around of things. So it's just certain things that we have to put in place to make sure that she does and doesn't do.
Yeah.
So it depends on the person, it depends on the situation.
Mm. So, Siobhan, just as we're starting to like kind of close our conversation, what would you want someone listening who may be struggling with the same thing to hear from you today?
Just make sure that you find some type of peace and clarity. If you can't find any type of clarity, just try to meditate, because I've even meditated recently. I said
Mhm.
I need some peace, because even with my own life within myself, is every day is ongoing.
Mhm.
Just have meditate, try to find some peace. If you have some type of relationship with the higher up, have that relationship. Also, map out a plan if you have to. I know things may change drastically, or day by day, or time, hour by hour. Um,
Mhm.
Try to go with something that you can work with.
Mhm.
And if you have to get therapy, because hey, you might at some point you probably got to get therapy, probably got to get some type of counseling, something. try to get as much help from family and friends or some type of support system, or even those resources that allow you to get food or even help with bills or even with counseling as well. So there are resources out there as well. So try to get the help and the, resources and being able to help yourself as much as you can.
Mm. Shimon, what I love about your story is like you're still living it, like you're still in it right now. And so I can understand where you're just still trying to figure it out. Like you're still trying to go, okay, I'm walking in it right now. I don't know quite what that's going to look like at the end of the journey, but I also love your resilience that you are speaking of and how you're like, okay, this strong willness that I have is definitely a strength in this moment because I know that I've got to pull my bootstraps up and get through it. I know in the middle, when you're in it and in the middle of it, it's the toughest part probably for you. And I'm hearing from your brother and your sister-in-law as well, having to actually become the parent to your parent. I think that's important for people to listen to because we don't realize that that happens in life. Like it is a full circle where at some point you have to become a parent to your own parent. And unfortunately, I never experienced that part because I lost my parents when I was so young. But for those that are walking through this, I can imagine what that would look like and how hard it can be. Um, and then again, grieving, because you're talking about counseling, you're talking about connecting to resource and stuff. There is a grieving process because you are slowly losing who you knew as your mom right
Hmm.
before your very eyes as you're working with someone else that you're like, where is this coming from? Like, who are
Right.
you almost? It's so hard. And dementia is so hard. And I would definitely, Siobhan, be holding you and your family in my prayers
Thank you.
as I continue. But before we close, is I would love you to leave our listeners with one thought or maybe truth or even a word of encouragement to help them stay more grounded and rooted in who they are becoming. What would you leave our listeners with?
Stay positive.
Mm,
I know that's said probably more than once. You've heard it more than once, but yes, like literally, if you have to practice affirmations, journal, do whatever you can to just stay in a positive mindset, in a positive atmosphere, because life can be challenging. You may
mm,
not be as strong will as me, or you may be, but make sure that whatever you go through, that you keep a good circle around you and always just keep moving forward.
mm. That's that's good to hear. Sometimes you need that positive just reaffirmation so that you can continue to move forward. As you're telling your story, Siobhan, this song that I recently ran into a couple of weeks ago called Strong Woman comes to mind. I would love for you to take when you would get off of the call, just go check it out, go peep it
Is
out.
it Mary J. Blige or is it someone else?
It's someone else.
Okay.
I don't think it's Mary J. Blige. I haven't looked at the artist. I just heard the song. But
Oh,
you need to go listen to it. I think it's going to speak to your heart. It really is going to touch you. Um, because that's what I see in you as we're talking and just hearing you. You are a strong woman, but it doesn't mean that you're strong all the time. And even though people don't see that side of you because you don't let a lot of people see that side of you, that vulnerable side. You shared so much here, and I am so appreciative about that. But know that you've got someone that is in South Carolina that is definitely holding you up in prayer, for sure. Because I mean, we all need it, and I know that you can't always be strong, especially in the moments when you're by yourself and in your apartment behind closed doors. So know that that's okay to let yourself feel and let yourself express that outwardly. I love that you're journaling. I want to say thank you so much for being on the show, sharing your story and your growth with us. And as you're going through it, I think that's important for people to understand and know. What I love about our conversation, it's just a reminder that transformation isn't about perfection. It's about awareness, healing, and intention. And you spoke all about intention in your story. When we tend to the root, the fruit begins to change naturally. So, for those of you that are listening, take a moment to reflect. Which inner quality feels hardest right now, and what part of your story might be asking for more care? For me, friends, my faith is where it all begins. And if you're curious about that, you are welcome here all the time. I don't pressure, I don't judge, I just give you the space to grow. So until next time, stay rooted, stay real, and stay growing. I'm Angelina Mojica, your life coach, sending you much love, much peace, many blessings.